everybody, welcome back to the Creator Shelf. And yes, you're joining me on a weird weather day in Brussels. It has been snowing, it has been raining, it has been windy, it is sunny right now, and apparently it's going to snow this evening, so there you go. But yes, you're joining me on day 2 of the prompts that I'm doing as part of the Vlogmas series, whatever you want to call it. And Papa Squirrel has made a series of prompts for us to answer, one every day if we want to, and today's day 2. So the question today is, which of the minor cards helps me to think of this holiday season? And what was really interesting was that I kind of like knew the cards kind of straight off the top of my head. It was much easier than yesterday's prompt, and I personally like the minor arcana more than the major, but don't tell anyone that. But anyway, right, so so the first card that came to mind that reminds me of the holiday season is the Four of Swords. Yeah, exactly, the Four of Swords, a period of resting, you know. There's a little bit of being on guard, but it's a period of resting. And another representation of that I like is from the Light Seers. Here you go, all cocooned. And this is the Four of Swords in the Deviant Moon. And I like these representations actually because they're so, this is the classic RWS, but here we have, you know, these very different variations. And I really love it. It's a time, I think, of just getting that energy from the earth, from soaking up that kind of like whatever is in nature. I really love like the colors that are in here, the heart and so forth. It's just, it's very, yeah, it's a very refreshing energy. That's the best way I can put it. But in the Deviant Moon, what I love is like the earthiness, and she looks like she's in a coffin, basically, as she's meant to. But we know she's going to come out of the earth, right? And we know those swords are up there growing out of the ground, and I really love that. It actually reminds me. The first thing that came to mind was a little bit of this, and because I don't know, it depends, I guess, right, on where we live and the lifestyle we have. And here in Brussels, December is really seeing kind of like the end point of just trying to make it through kind of like projects, workloads, just trying to finalize everything and get to that moment where we can switch off, you know, a few days before Christmas. And there's this thing, right, where we all think we're going to go into a time warp between Christmas and New Year, thinking we're going to have a lot of time. And I don't know, it's like in my head, I always think it's like a month or something, and it's like literally just 1 week. It's 1 week and then we're into New Year, and it's already so. So anyway, these are the cards that kind of like came to mind. So it's the Four of Swords, but I am cheating. And the card that also I think that reminds me a little bit different is the Three of Cups, because there's a lot of parties going on right now. There's well, there isn't actually because of COVID, but traditionally there'd be a lot of parties, a lot of people kind of like putting on their Christmas dress or whatever, or outfit, getting together with people that we haven't seen in a long time, and just celebration, right? That emotional energy of jubilance and celebration and letting go a little bit, and just you know, kind of like just enjoying all the chocolates and wine or whatever you consume, kind of thing. It's very kind of like surface level, but I love it. I love this kind of like energy sometimes. I think it's good at times just to let go a little. And you know, that could be in different forms, varying on what you like to do. But for me, you know, my letting go a little is just like it's really to do with kind of like time and kind of like spending time with people. That's kind of like me kind of like going, okay, just hang out with my friends, go to restaurants, you know, just talk. And normally kind of like, you know, we start with like a pizza, and we're going to have like a pizza and dessert, and 4 hours later we're still sitting there chatting about stuff, and like on the 5th coffee or something, or the 5th tea. So that's the kind of thing, you know, that this reminds me of, you know, that kind of like moment where we just kind of like want to be with like the people that help nurture me or help me grow. And it can be family as well. It can be family, it can be cousins, it can be our fur buddies. My little cat's down here right now asking for attention, but it can be just with, you know, different people. So yeah, so that's the Three of Cup energy. But the other one that this reminds me of, and this is where I kind of like, it was a little bit of a tough call, and it's because this is also present in my life. I just, you know, I didn't know how else to say it, but I'm very, very well aware of people who don't have those connections, and it can be really, really lonely. And that's not something that I just see on TV. It's something that I'm very, very, it's a part of kind of like the landscape of my life. That's the best way I can put it. And I know that sometimes it can be really difficult. We're missing people. especially this time of year, people who've passed on, that kind of thing, or just people we're not in contact with anymore. And I know that some people have picked the Five of Pentacles as like feeling left out, but which I think is part of this. But for me, it's also just, you know, that sense of not really belonging. And I loved the Deviant Moon card and the Five of Pentacles. I love this card so much. It's one of my favorite cards of all time. Out of every card ever in history, kind of thing, the Five of Pentacles of the Deviant Moon really is something that's very special to me, because I relate to her, and I relate to whoever that, I relate to all of this. And I, you know, I was just looking at the back, the chimney's burning, you know, and life goes on, but she's not in that part of it, you know. And there's the steps leading up. You know, should she knock on the door? And these scenes, you know, they all differ, I think, in some ways, of messages of the Five of Pentacles. But yeah, it's something that really like does like play a role in my life. And I won't go on about it too much, but I want to mention this. And you know, and the fact that there are people who just don't have that feeling of like belonging. And part of that a little bit for me was you know, kind of like the sadness of the Nine of Swords as well. I'm a bit Papa Squirrels, because I said one card. I said one, and she's got like 4 in there already or something. But you know, there is that sadness. And there's something about, sometimes I think these periods, like if it's the Indian New Year, or if it's Christmas or Yule or whatever you want to call it, and then there's New Year's Day, and you know, those big holidays where sometimes I think the commercialization of them also pushes in a way to say, oh, you must be hanging out with someone, kind of thing. And some people don't have that. They just don't. And I think these cards are okay to talk about at this time of year, because it's just real. It's just a reality. I was really lucky when my family moved away, and I was here in Belgium. I got to go back to the UK, and my friends have always been very kind. They've always said, like, the door's open, you know, you just rock up, you can spend Christmas with us. And that is just such a loving feeling. And you know, and it's so close to be part, you know, to have this energy, and it's a gift. But I don't take it lightly, and I don't think it's because, I don't know how else to put it. So I wanted to mention that, which might sound like, for some people, like, no, like, you know, it's all meant to be like bubbles and glitter, which I like the sequins and I like the tinsel. But yeah, so that was the other one. And I'm really pushing the boat on this one, but I know everybody's mentioning the Six of Cups, but look at this card from the Light Seers. He's remembering, like, you know, that journey. And the reason why I brought this up was because my cat is like, my little fur buddy, he's what is he now? He's 14. So, you know, like his doctor, the vet, has said several times, you know, like, make your time good, basically. And you know, and spend time, like, you know, don't take it for granted now. So I kind of like just want to cherish my time with my fur buddy, because he's been around for so long, and he's a part of my life. So and we've grown together, basically. So yeah, so this was like just a moment where it just reminded me of like the furry friends and the furry animals in our lives and our families, basically. So I'm going to keep this video short. I'm trying to do them all under 10 minutes, which is already, I know, long enough for these prompts. You will see me tomorrow. I think for day 3 and day 4, I'm going to sandwich them together, because on Saturday I'm going to do the challenge. So yeah, I will see you all tomorrow, and wishing you a lovely Thursday. Bye now.